What up, what up, what up? Happy Tuesday. Oh, man, I was a bit thrown off for a second. I'm like, hold up. I gotta make sure everything's recording. And I was like, I'm good. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm live.
We'll see what happens with the mics this time if we have to end up going to one again.
I don't know what's happening. It just recently started happening. Like, you get 50 episodes into this, and now you start having issues with your computer. Like, oh no,
it's weird, and it's only my mic was it a couple weeks ago, and then yours last week. So then we have to share one, and then we're all hot next to each other with our body heat and our breath, and
whoa! I don't mind your breath.
Oh, I mind yours.
Exactly, and that's the problem. You gotta fix that.
You gotta fix your breath. Get a breath mint.
You let the dog lick you, and it yawns in your face like, and you're like, yo,
what's a yawn in my face gonna do with my breath?
It smells. Yo, people that have dogs out
my
there,
breath?
People that have dogs out there, they know. That dog.
Yeah, they know
face.
that you love your dog. Doggy kisses are the best.
I'm sorry. I'm judging everyone that gets licked in the face by the dog.
Oh my god. I don't French kiss the dog.
You don't,
okay?
but you let the dog lick your face, and I'm like, nah.
Okay.
I'm judging every single one of you.
Do.
Exactly. I'm judging everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That dog licks everything, and you want it to lick your face.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Oh man, what is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely fiance.
Hi, it's Lauren.
Man. So, I know we've had some interesting episodes. I feel like the last last few weeks. This one's gonna be not a little less focused on the current events, I guess you could say, right? And more focused on us.
Sort of.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so. That's what I'm at least feeling.
Things that can relate to us.
This episode's more so gonna deal with race. I guess your mental health. So I'm gonna touch more on anxiety because I'm feeling it after a lot of these current events that I'll get into more. I guess I'll kick it off to start.
Okay, have fun.
So, man, so it's been a few weeks now since the 3 mass shootings that happened a few weeks ago, and I think I told you this the day I got back from the gym. So I went after the shooting. I think it was it a Sunday? I think the shooting happened on a Saturday or something like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like on the weekends the world stops. I didn't go anywhere. I'm living in my bubble, watching the news constantly. And then I go out to the gym in the morning on Monday, and it's you just get a weird vibe from certain people. And it's for that moment in my head, I'm sitting there thinking man, now I'm worried about where I'm going. If people were really that hateful against, this guy's black, I don't like him. Get him out of here. And after the gym, I went to go get some gas. A normal thing we all do. And the area I'm in is, I'd say, majority white. It's known as a white area.
Where? Where you go to the gym?
Yeah, no, where I get gas. I mean, still where I go get.
Okay.
It is.
Wait. Oh.
Exactly.
The one you prefer.
No, the one we normally go to.
After the grocery store.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Exactly. So I'm sitting there pumping gas, and I'm paranoid. Everyone that's
Well, and it stinks because it's early in the morning too, and it's sort of dark, and it's
No, it's not dark at that time.
It's a weird time.
It's a
weird time
dark,
of day.
But everyone's just driving by me, or people that are slowly creeping, because it's a gas station. You're not gonna go fast through it. But I still have anxiety. I'm sitting here yo, I feel sketchy. I feel like someone's just gonna roll down their window, either say something or point a gun at me or something, just because of the recent political climate. I don't feel comfortable. And I found that interesting. And if I could pull it up here, we had a listener email.
I was gonna add something to that.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I remember, and I think I told you this a year or two ago. I was doing makeup on a friend of mine, and she just loves you, and we were talking about our relationship and different stuff. And I remember how she said, she's I don't know how you do it, in a sincerely concerned way of the fact that I am with a black man and you are a target. She's like, I don't know how you do it, as in like emotionally and like being nervous and like, worried for the person, that kind of thing, and like kind of on pins and needles. And yeah, like it's true because, if you I feel like I'd be like this with anyone, but I feel like maybe there is a little bit of bias there, that when you go out late at night to work out and I'm trying to sleep, I can't sleep. And I don't think that it's, I mean, part of it is, yeah, I like you to just be home because it's late at night and whatever. But the other part is, yeah, I mean, I'm not blind to what is happening in the world. And so it makes me nervous that it's like, I'm supposed to just fall asleep here, but you're like out there and it's like, 11, 12 at night and I don't know what's happening. And it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's put, it's put that in my head that, that I should be nervous all the time that I'm not with you.
Okay. Well,
which stinks.
Don't be, because I got this.
I know, but
I'm just saying from my own like thing, like it's crazy. Like to see like how people, to see these protests and these rallies and everything, and seeing how people like really feel. Yeah, you don't feel comfortable because you always wonder like who's not for you, just because of how I look.
Right.
Oh, look at you. You're the real one. I was struggling there.
I was already logged on, so.
I was struggling. I'm trying to pull it up. So we had a listener email. If you guys aren't familiar, check the description of this episode or any of our episodes, and you'll see the email for our podcast. For you to send us questions so we could talk about on the next podcast, of course. And
we got an email.
I would like to say her name is Sayu. How do you pronounce that?
I'm not sure, and I don't want to butcher it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry from
Sui, something like that.
I'm sorry from
it's SIUE.
And it was interesting hearing her like thoughts, because her partner is a black male, and like he goes through various mental health issues, as she goes on to say. And she's a white female who is pretty stable, and it's like I guess it was interesting, like hearing my take on like having anxiety and like in the current like world we're in, and it's interesting because you don't really hear that from people. Like I feel like I can't have these conversations because, no offense, majority of my friends are white, I'll say, yeah. And like the ones that are different races, I feel like I can't have like a level like this level of conversation I can have with them. Does that not to be rude, but like they're not on that mindset. Like I'm so self-aware of everything, like how I'm perceived, like how someone's gonna take, like yeah. And like her email was great. It's super long to get into. She did have questions which we'll get into, but man, what? So I just wanted to share that. I just want to share that part, and then you had something there about. I'll get back to that email.
Oh,
keep it up.
Okay.
But you had something. that's all I had with just my anxiety with the current political climate. I'm sure I'll have more, but that's like my recent like scare, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So I was having an interesting conversation with a person I just met professionally, and we had gotten into, like a little bit of our personal life and things like that. And, you try to keep it not too political or too anything, especially with someone you just met. But it was really cool. Like, we hit it off. We had a really great conversation. And so she's a white woman. And first of all, she had told me about a movie called The Green Book, and that I should definitely watch it. And would be very informative for, like you and I, and just kind of.
Probably not for me.
Well, would you like to explain?
Wait, what?
Would you like to explain The Green Book then?
I mean, from what I understand from it, when it was out at the time, and I saw the trailer, like something about like the black guy being like the chauffeur and like this white guy starts to like understand him and they like their white worlds collide.
It's based
all that
on
stuff.
a real. It's based on a real thing.
Okay.
I'm not that educated on it, so I'm not sure, but it would probably be a good thing to watch then.
Okay.
But oh my gosh, sorry, I'm still dying, guys. So part of this conversation, because what did I say? Oh, I had said, I don't know. I think I said it on this podcast at one point, how when I went to a wedding, and it was this big bougie house in a really nice town, and like, the lady was putting like a cheap tablecloth on the table.
She said it was ghetto.
Yeah, and she said like, "Oh, sorry, this is so ghetto, I know," and like, and it was just like, okay, like I don't know why you had to say it like that, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what I said is I explained that story to her, and I said, it's like the height of white privilege or something like that, and so she got into, oh my gosh, I'm dying. I'm sorry. Bear with me. She got into how white privilege is a weird topic for her. So she's, I want to say, oh gosh, I think it's Portuguese. And so there was this whole thing, because I think her parents or grandparents were the ones off the boat to America. And basically when you got here, you said you were white, not Portuguese. You said you were American, not Portuguese. It was this thing that that no one can know, because apparently there's history there of very similar things where they would hurt your race and, physical and mental ways and different stuff. And it was abusive, and it's, stupid. But, so I find it interesting. She had a different take, because she's kind of like, she's in the middle where she's like, I get it. But at the same time, people can't just say like, because I'm white, I'm like totally privileged, because I had a similar situation in a different skin. Like I don't know. It's
what?
Because so she's not black, so she can't say that she has had black experiences, but the experiences you guys have had can be similar to that of a Portuguese nationality in America.
Depends what you look like.
And there's more history. It's also, you have to remember, this could be generations ago.
Okay.
That it's worse. It's, maybe not today, but the way she was explaining it, I forget if it was her parents or grandparents, but that's 1 or 2 generations ago. And, it was not a good time. So. Okay,
but that was then. Is she dealing with issues now?
I don't know. I didn't ask her that.
That's her family. Cool. That's what your family went through. That's great. I'm sure things are.
She definitely she definitely understands white privilege. She understands. She still has that. I think she was in this in between. I'm not
knocking anyone. Like, yo, have your privilege, do whatever. I just don't want to be freaking if I walk in a store, I don't want to be looked at like, yo, this guy may have something. Like, I walked in the Asian dollar spots and just walking around getting some candy or soda or drink or whatever, and you see these Asian people, or no offense, Indian people, whoever, will peek around corners or just walk by and stuff. I've seen that. It's happened. I'm not doing anything sketchy. All right, chill out.
Watching you. No, I mean, yeah. She wouldn't have that issue, obviously.
I was so lost to why you brought that up then.
I don't know. It just...
Because I'm like, that's cool.
She had a different perspective on it versus just kind of blanketing that all whites, no matter what your heritage is, it doesn't matter that you didn't have whatever generational issues or whatever. I don't know.
Talking about the past. I don't know who you... no one's talking... when I talk about, I'm talking about right now.
So do I, but I don't know.
I don't care about the past. I'm talking about right now. The fact that, for example, when we were looking for rings, I'm going to go to that because if you guys have heard that episode, I feel like it was the first wedding update or something along those lines.
It was a long time ago.
Back in I don't even know, the March episode, probably in there if you've been following us for a while, where it's We walk into a jewelry store. We walked into 3 of them, I think, that same day. First one, wait, 3? I think we walked into
2 or 3? 3, yes, 3.
Yeah,
I remember
walked
that.
into the 3. First one we went to, super like, not like.
Good thing we went to that one first, so that it kind of got better from there.
I did not feel it like it was filled with like older people. Older meaning like probably in their like 40s, 50s, 60s, or maybe a little older.
Mm-hmm.
And like right off the jump, you got those weird vibes. And like a white guy could walk in there or a white woman could walk in there and it'd be fine. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like until I can just.
I was so annoyed with that too.
Chill. And like I always hate it because I have to like make sure like my energy, like how my
that you're like
not
extra
bad.
happy looking
I'm
and
smiling
sounding.
And all that stuff, and it's like
it's kind of like you and I were having the conversation the other day how like you would look into LASIK, but that you literally are worried because when you have your glasses off, you look more angry.
Whoa.
So you're
I don't
like
look more angry. I look the same.
You're perceived.
Exactly.
So like it's sad to me because like I would never think of that. And so it's like it's sad to me that you have to literally like be concerned about that you can't better your vision and not have to wear glasses forever but you have to your priority.
Like before I started wearing glasses consistently growing up like as a teenager, like I remember that being a comment I would get from people, select people of course, but you understand if it's like a select group of people, you can probably bet a lot of people are thinking the same thing.
You know what's funny? All that's called is resting bitch face. A lot of us have it.
But exactly. Like,
I have
like,
it. Are you kidding me?
Like, I just have a plain old face.
Right. I have it. Like, if I'm just, like, blank and I'm just, like, listening and, like, not trying to... You know when you're, like, listening to someone, but then you're, like, you have to, like, have the smile and the nod and be so, like, you know. But if I'm just, like, myself, like, around you or something, and I'm just blank... It doesn't mean that I'm mad.
Yeah.
Like, it just, it doesn't come off as happy looking or attractive. Like, it's just.
Best believe it. Like, probably within, like, sometime next year, because I'm not sure if I'll do it this year. I am interested in, like, looking into LASIK. If not getting the surgery next year, probably within, like, the near future or a few years down the road. Because, I'm tired of glasses. I'm too afraid of contacts.
Me too.
But, like, I don't mind. Like if I watch a few videos and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks crazy, but like I see the success rate.
I wouldn't
and all
watch
that
them
stuff.
if I were you.
It
See, I'm the person I don't ever want anything done to my eyes.
I'm looking at the end
I
goal.
pray that I never get like cataracts or glaucoma or any of that stuff. Like I am not about these eye surgeries. That freaks me out.
I hate glasses.
Even if I wore glasses every day, like it freaks me out.
Well, don't scare me.
But sorry. But I was gonna say something else before that. Now I can't remember. But I don't know. I just was sharing it. It was a conversation. I don't know.
Nah, and we'll watch the Green Book. I don't know when. But
yeah,
we'll watch it. I'm not sure if we could probably make it a topic on the podcast to like dig into it.
Sure.
For those that have seen or haven't seen it. But we'll see. If you want to unlock your phone, I want to get into these questions that we got. I'm gonna say your name inside you. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name.
If you email us again, definitely put like in parentheses how you pronounce it. We're not trying to be insulting.
Yeah. So her questions were.
It's okay. People call me Laura all the time, like with an A.
It's all that
and
privilege.
even when it's written out in an email.
Yo, I get Chanel or Shadididel.
I'm like, okay, if it's written out, and it's a common name, like it's I'm like Laura.
It's with 2 D's. I've been getting that recently.
Shadididel.
It's either that or Chanel. I'm like, do I look like I'm a bag?
Chandel. A lot of people like to just add an N for some reason.
Or a C.
What?
Shan.
Oh. I was like thinking the C was in the middle, and I'm like, where?
Where it at?
Like what?
So I want to hit this here with these questions, and I want to know your thoughts. I did take a brief look on.
Yeah, your emails were like super in depth. You're so cute. Like, appreciate it.
She says, do you guys prefer interracial couple or intercultural couple? And then she puts in parentheses or something else.
So I thought this was really interesting. I never heard of intercultural couple. I didn't know that was a thing. So for me, I would just say the basic answer is interracial couple because that's what I've always known. I can see what you mean with intercultural because I even think she went into explain like that's what they prefer and why. Because yeah, it makes sense. You could, she's trying to say how we're one human race and we're trying to not discriminate and not segregate. So we're trying to be like, okay, if we want just one equal happy human race that loves whoever, then it does make a lot of sense because sure, we still have different cultures. But if there's different cultures coming together, yet you look at it as one human race.
Yeah, and when she said that, I'm like, I never heard that term, so I was like, let me look it up, and I couldn't find anything on like intercultural couples when I did a Google search, so I looked up intercultural marriage, and here's the two separate ones just to give. I'm not sure if you looked into it. I don't know. It helped me to like put a meaning towards it to understand it better. So maybe this is gonna help everyone listening. So interracial marriage is the term used to describe marriages that take place between people who are from different racial or ethnic groups. Intercultural marriages are defined as marriages between people who come from two different cultural backgrounds.
So really, it's interchangeable.
Pretty much, but it's not looking at it as a race thing. It's not staying. It's like I look at it similar to like how
I almost wonder if you could even get so specific that intercultural would be, like if you have an Italian and a Polish person.
Well, I look at it as just being like as
they're
simple
still
as
both white.
But I look at it as simple as being if I was with another black girl. How we grew up is completely different. Like our culture is completely different. How we were raised is different. So it's like, I don't know. Like that's how I kind of looked at that as, where it's like, yeah, we could both be what you would call, I guess, black people, but
right,
we're like we grew up different. Like for example, if we were the same skin color, we looked at our backgrounds, it's gonna be different. Like how we're raised and how we grew up and everything. It's not the same.
Right.
It's two different cultures.
Right.
So that's how I took it as. And I thought that was interesting. And I'm like, yo.
There are people who are like that where, for example, if you're Jewish and like your parents don't let you marry outside Jewish or, Italian or whatever, where that's a thing where it's like you're still the same color, but now you have to be the same culture and everything too. You have to be from the same background, all of it. And it's like, that's wild to me.
I really like. And when I found this out, thank you to Sayu. Sorry for mispronouncing your name again. I was like, damn. I'm like, I may start using intercultural.
I wonder if people would be confused when we say it.
Yo, then I'm going to educate them.
Yeah, education moment. Take that.
But I like that. Because interracial, I feel like there's like some, like a slight bit of like, I don't even know what you want to call it, like bad thing when you say you're in an interracial relationship to someone that's not like about it or not familiar with it. Like, does that make sense?
I don't know.
That's what I feel like when I'm saying this to like someone that like doesn't know me.
You know what I've literally been doing lately? Instead of telling people, oh, my fiance's black, I've literally been just showing them my iPhone background and being like, so this is us. Like, and just, well, I feel like not only is it like it takes that weirdness out of it, but second of all, you get their reaction. You'll see, like, if they look at a picture and they're like, oh, I was not expecting that. Like,
yo, if someone said to me, I'm like, yo, so what you expecting?
Right? No, but seriously,
what does that mean?
It's actually pretty strategic. And like, but I feel like it takes the weirdness out of it because you know what's annoying? I feel like there's still a weird connotation when I say my fiance is black. I feel like that's still like weird to people. Mm-hmm. That it's like, oh, I shouldn't say that. Like, that's no, that's no. Like, let's not do that. And I'm like, I don't I don't know. And it is annoying, because it's like, in this day and age, that's where I think what she's trying to allude to, we're trying to get to the place where we don't even have to say that, because if I'm with a white person, I'm never saying my fiance is white, because we're the same. So it's always assumed. But if it's not, then you have to differentiate.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is, why do I have to differentiate? Why do I have to clarify that?
Yeah, and that's like, for example, what I do at work. Like, I don't like, no one knows, like, outside of the people that like know me or have me on Facebook, which really isn't one person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one knows your race. They just know you as my fiance, and like that's it. I think I showed someone like a picture like once, but like I don't.
So it makes you wonder what they assume in their head.
Yeah.
Because everybody paints a picture.
You know, when we get married, they're gonna probably want to see a picture of something, and like, oh, here, because I don't put that, like, when I'm talking to someone, and they're talking about the wedding, and they're talking about you, whatever, like, and like they don't know us. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying like you're white, like it doesn't matter.
For me, when I say it, it's more so to when it makes sense. So, like, what's a good example? I believe it was when one of my brides was black, and her family and everybody, and I feel like we're talking about something, and it was something that you could relate to. Mm-hmm. And so we're talking, and I that's more of when it comes up, is like, if I have to clarify that this is how I know this, or like this is why I understand what you're saying, or this is like that kind of thing, that's where I kind of have to clarify. Because again, they could assume that I'm just whitey white over here, and I'm in my white box and don't know anything and have a white fiance. So like,
that gives you some credit, some like credibility.
Yes, but at the same time, that's great. But at the same time, I feel like again, that's kind of sad that it's like,
nope. Why do I don't want someone I don't want someone to just say they're a doctor. Like, give me a reason why I should believe that you're a doctor.
But I never, also at the same time, I never want to be that person that is like, oh, I have a friend who's black. You know what I mean? Like those people that are like, oh, I know everything about you and your culture and what you go through and all this stuff because I'm with a black person. Like, I don't want to come across that way. I want to come across as an ally and someone who is like there and trying to understand to the best of my ability. But I'm not trying to come across as like those white people that are like, I have one black friend, therefore I'm it, you know, like.
I don't have any friends who would say that, so.
But you know what I'm talking about, because we've joked about it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to come across as that when I bring it up, is the thing.
I mean, you wouldn't. Just don't. I feel like you follow it up when you say something racist, like, oh no, it's fine, I could say that. I have a fiance that's black. Oh jeez. Or you do something that you know is wrong. You're like,
that would be terrible.
No, it's fine. Like my fiance's black. It's all good, guys.
Oh my god.
Like, why you
could you imagine?
Big deal? I'm sure it's been done.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
To jump a little bit here, so this is what we were going to cover last week, but I kind of you put that away. Okay. This is what I was going to talk about last week, and I skipped it because it didn't really fit with the episode, and it fits in now, which we talked about this when it happened. So a Montana man fractures a boy's skull after disrespecting the U.S. national anthem.
Didn't we talk about this?
I just said that.
Yeah, but like,
listen to me.
So why are we bringing it up again?
No, I didn't talk about it on the podcast. We skipped it on the podcast.
I thought we talked about it on the podcast.
Guys, she wasn't even paying attention for the last minute that I was talking. This is what I have to go through.
No, but I thought we were talking about it on the. I thought we did.
No.
Okay.
I skipped it. Like everyone else is listening except for you.
Who's it's.
I just want to say, dog.
Yes.
So this guy was at a rodeo, I guess, in Montana, and this 13-year-old kid there, I'm assuming he's with his family, either his mom, dad, both, who knows, and they're doing the national anthem. And this grown man doesn't like that. I think, what was he doing? What was this kid doing? I think he didn't have. Oh, he didn't remove his red baseball cap. So I'm sitting there.
Wouldn't you like red because it's the Make America Great Again caps?
Oh my god!
But it's
I'm sitting there with my 13-year-old kid, and some grown man. This guy is 39. Like what? He like throws a kid down on the floor and fractures his skull like over a song.
we all know why this is happening. We don't want to get overly political here.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what my anxiety is. Like,
right.
Like, I'm just living my life.
If you want to get down to it and not make it political, at the end of the day, no one has any right to put their hands on a person. You know, unless they're actually attacking you, coming at you first, you don't have a right to do that.
My dog.
So when you now take that and you think of the fact that this is a child and that it was over something as frivolous as a hat.
No. Oh, yeah. Not removing the hat.
Like, let's put that in perspective.
Like.
Did he get charged?
Yeah, I think he went back to jail.
Good.
Because I think he had like 2 charges before in the past or something
great.
like that.
Okay.
But, like, this is the reason why I have anxiety. I have no idea.
And that was a white kid.
Yeah. Oh, imagine if it was a black kid.
That's what I'm saying.
I have no idea who I'm meeting, who I'm bumping into, who I'm dealing with. Like, this is why I worry when I go to certain places when I'm like, yo, I don't know. Like, yo, so let me speak on this a bit more. So at the gym recently, so I go to the gym consistently at a certain, like, time. And it's like, you get familiar with the guys and girls that are around because you see them all the time.
Disclaimer, we usually go together, but I've been dying, so I have not been going.
Yeah.
Because I need to breathe first.
And so you got some, like, new guys that started, and it's like, they give me, like, the weirdest vibes. Like vibes when you know, like, someone is, like, talking about you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they gave me those type of
those
vibes.
all too well.
And, like, I really want to, like, say something, but I have no proof if you're talking about me. You just give me the vibes like you are.
So what? They're, like, looking at you and whispering or something? Like you're on a machine and...
I want to say... It's hard to tell. I just get these vibes. And normally I'm right on my vibes. You know this. Whenever I'm like, yo,
right.
I don't like this person, there's no reason.
Right.
And, like, I don't know. There's something on it. Like, the way they look at me from time to time, and, like, they always look like they're smiling. I don't know. There's something there.
They're the type of people that I'd love to walk over and kiss you and see what the fuck happens. I'm just saying.
I don't know. There's something there. And it's
they'd
like,
probably be shooketh.
And it's like, I'm just a regular person at the gym. Like, I wear nothing that makes me stand out. I'm chilling there all
These are
black.
white men,
like,
I assume, right?
Obviously.
Okay.
Man,
what are they, like our age, older?
Yeah. Probably around our age. Probably exactly our age. Like, they don't seem older.
Interesting.
And it's like, they just gave me this vibe. And it's like, I can't pinpoint it. But, like, you're not going to make me uncomfortable. But no, I'm watching you. And I'm like, if you walk out the same time, I'm keeping an eye out. I don't know. That's how much my anxiety's like, I'm ready.
That stinks. That stinks. That's not right.
It is what it is, though.
Yeah, but I know. Like, you're saying you're used to it, but that's the problem.
Like, you can't do anything about it. Like, me talking about it, it's making other people aware, which is cool and great. But it's like, I can't do anything about it. And I'm sure there's a lot of other, guys that are listening to this that feel the same way. They may go to the gym and be like, yo, yeah, I got this guy that's constantly sitting there eyeballing me a certain way, and it's just like, I'm not feeling this. I don't know. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just had to bring this article up because, number one, if this happened to my kid over just some song, I would flip, and it would be a major problem. Like, wow. And that further leads to my my anxiety. And also with these, like, over the past last week, there was like three shooters or potential shooters that were stopped. Like in Connecticut, where else? Ohio. What was the other place? Shoot, I'm drawing a blank. with the other shooter where they stopped him. But, like, yo, I don't know if it's just a coincidence, like why this is happening a lot more, but
I mean, I think everyone's on high alert though.
yeah, exactly. I'm
That's
not
why.
playing any games. Like I'm worried when I go to the gym. I'm sitting here trying to figure out the closest exit to me and like what can I duck behind and like all that stuff. Oh man.
Man, that's sad.
Don't mind me.
I get it though. Where was I? Well, I told you how on Saturday I had my bachelorette and I didn't know what we were doing. Everything was a surprise. But so I had no idea if we were going places that would be like big crowds. And it's like that's what I'm thinking of.
Yep.
It's like cool, you know, because that's when that shit happens. It's like you're having a good time and you're just like, and it's and like our Walmarts in Connecticut were threatened this past weekend.
I think was it
So
not
there was
everyone's?
that.
I thought it was. Oh yeah, it was
In
just us.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
And just
Oh man. All right. So I want to give you guys an update on this ASAP Rocky like court case issue that he had back in Sweden. We did an episode probably about like 2 weeks at this point, and I wanted to talk about this because I think this is wild. So
mind blowing.
Exactly. So ASAP Rocky was found guilty in Sweden for his assault case. Mind you, he did not assault anyone. So ASAP Rocky and his co-defendants, they weren't given prison time, but they were hit with what do you call it? I can't even speak. Goddamn, conditional sentences. I think there's an issue with me like talking live on the podcast and just like
getting hyped up.
Yeah, not focusing. So Rocky was ordered to pay 12,500 in Swedish krona, whatever their dollar is.
Krona?
Yeah, sure. So that amounts to 1,300 in U.S. dollars.
That's it.
To the alleged victims for his. It's probably a lot of money there. I could be wrong though.
Okay, but $1,300 it doesn't sound like a lot.
I mean, to us, yes, but
all
to
right,
them,
all right.
That's
all
like
right.
if we went to Mexico or whatever, like, yo, we live like kings.
All right.
Well, and a queen.
Yeah. Excuse me.
I mean, that Adam's apple had me like fumbling for a moment.
You're rude.
I gotta get a joke in somewhere in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're giving that money to the alleged victims for his what do you call it? His pain and suffering and his integrity. What? So these kids. If I showed you, I wish I showed you the video.
So he's not getting jail time then? He's just doing the money?
Yeah, he just has to give him the money.
Oh,
if I showed you
that's
the video,
like nothing to him.
It's so stupid. Because essentially they're saying because he picked up a bottle and threw it at them, like not like at them, but like it was in their direction. Exactly. Like they're putting this saying, "Yo, you did this." But I really hate this. It's like, yo, I'm sitting here trying to defend myself. I have these guys sitting here pressuring me, trying to like have me attack them, and it's like, what?
Speaking of all the stuff we were talking about,
and you win the case,
right?
I'm just trying to get to my hotel room or go wherever I gotta go, and what? I gotta pay you for your pain and suffering? What about me? That is wild. And yeah, I don't know. With all these like recent like things in Sweden, like celebrities, non-celebrities getting like court cases. Yeah, one place it was never on my bucket list to begin with, but it's not on my bucket list anytime soon. I am not trying to get locked up.
I can't say I've ever especially wanted to go there either.
Yeah, seeing how they treat black people, I'm good. I'll stick. Do I have to say that America's a little bit better there than there?
I mean, we now have the travel warning on.
That is true.
So we are right there with them.
We are in dicey situations.
Can you guys believe that? We have a travel warning on our country now, just like if you go to Mexico or Jamaica or wherever that have all those warnings, like the levels. I can't believe we're in that now. That says something.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
One thing I have here that I added in my notes that I thought was interesting, and this was probably when I was thinking back about like when I was having like my anxiety when I was out after the gym getting gas. I feel like the U.S. is turning into the prison system, in the terms of like races hanging with their own races, because they do that for a reason.
Oh, like they're intentionally doing that.
Yeah, because they do that
Not
for
like,
a reason in
not
jail.
like we're choosing.
I mean, we are choosing.
Well, sort of, because then there's there's plenty. You know, you and I've said it too. We see more interracial couples happening.
Where did we go that we saw like a bunch? Was it? When we go?
It was like
grocery shopping?
ShopRite.
Yeah, man, we saw a lot. Like, yo, every time I see like an interracial couple, specifically black and white, no offense to everyone else.
Well, no, I like seeing them because then when you see their kid, you're like, hey, that's gonna be our little nugget.
I'm like, hey,
that's what I think of.
I feel like that's what
like
we're all thinking internally. Like, yo,
there was a black man and a white woman. She was pushing the cart, and there was like a little like 1-year-old, 2-year-old in there, and I'm like, hey, it's gonna be our little fuzzy nugget.
Okay. So that's what like I was thinking, because it makes sense. Because prison, it's separated based on your race. Like the blacks stay with the blacks, whites stay with the whites,
which is so
all that stuff.
Stupid.
And it's like supposedly
why
you like conspiracies.
Like that?
You like conspiracies, but supposedly it's to like keep order. Because if everyone was to get along, it'd be an issue for the correctional officers in that like facility. It's like hold everyone down. Like if it's easier when people are fighting each other for you to maintain order, but when everyone's working together, it becomes a problem.
In what world does that make sense?
Wait, what do you mean?
Because if people work together, things work smoothly. They are better.
So you want the criminals to
I thought you mean
together. Do
you mean work together as in like they're doing what they're supposed to?
Nah, bruh.
Oh, then never mind. I get it. Cuz I was going to say like if they're just working together like with the
there's way
officers.
More prisoners. There's way more prisoners than correctional officers.
I rescind my comment.
Like you got to think there's way more people that these COs have to like be in there guarding and protecting and all that stuff. So yeah, if everyone wants to band together, it could be a problem. Just like how I feel like the U.S. is turning, where it's like, nah, you go back to where you came from. You go over there, you stay over here, you hang with these people. Like that's why I feel like it's what's happening, because it's a problem when we're all together. When we're all doing these marches, we're all supporting each other, and we're all hanging. Like, yeah, it's harder to take out a group of people that are all in order.
Because we all have different experiences, and we can contribute something that comes to a greater good. So, like, if that means lashing out at someone, if we all have different takes on it, yeah, that would be worse. Rather, because like it's kind of like we were talking about before, different cultures. You have different experiences and different lessons you've learned, and so I can come to the table with one thing, you can come to the table with another thing, and then vice versa, all that stuff, and create a worse comeback. Versus like what you're saying is if you group all of one race together, they could be limited based on experience.
No, that we're the enemy. It's all enemy.
Oh my goodness, I'm like not getting.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep it back to the prison system.
What I'm saying kind of makes sense, but
right, but that's not the case. So I'm gonna go back to the prison system. Understand? So in jail, the blacks stay with the blacks, whites stay with the whites, Spanish stay with the Spanish, all that stuff. They don't like each other. The correctional officers wanted to stay like that because, it makes it easy for you to control if they're all fighting each other. If you had kids and they're all fighting each other.
I get that.
Okay.
I get it. I was
now,
going
maximize that to the world.
Love. I think I was going deeper into that, and you weren't looking at like
I wouldn't look
strategics of it.
I wouldn't look at it like that.
Okay. I get
because that doesn't really. It's not about your experience. It's about you coming to like one common thing.
That's what I'm saying, though. We could come to one common thing
I don't need your experience.
And
do you
yes,
agree?
you do. If you're if you're trying to take down a CO, and you have like 5 ways of doing it, and you put it all together, that's like a massive explosive versus one way of doing it that could be like a lesser result. I
see what you're getting at, but that's not what I was trying to get at.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm viewing it as. It's like, okay, that's why it's bad
I should
to
get it
put everyone together or something.
Everyone agreeing with each other and being on the same page to being like, yeah, we want this to change. Like, we want healthcare for everyone. We want this, like, we want someone that's going to actually do what they're saying they're going to do and not just talk it. Like, that. Like, that's
oh
what
my gosh, guys.
What I mean.
Okay, so off that topic, I had a client recently who's from the Czech Republic, and she was telling me how, like, they have, like, the healthcare for everyone that, I don't know how she was explaining it, but it all makes sense. Like, it's all the same, I guess. You all get the same one. And free education, college, all that different stuff. All the stuff that we're trying to fight for here in America, she basically had. I don't know other stuff about the Czech Republic. I'm sure there's terrible things happening there as well because this is the world we live in. There's nothing that's just all great. But it was very interesting to me to, like, hear her experience and how, like, and then she came here for her partner, and it's just been different. I asked her, I'm like, what do you prefer? Like, which do you prefer? And she gave me, like, the safe answer of, like, oh, like, I like them both for different reasons kind of thing.
That PC answer.
And, like, we talked about it. I forget exactly what she said, but I was like, okay. So, but that was an interesting experience.
I don't know. And, I mean, that further proves it where it's like other countries can do it, but here we are. We're sitting here being like, yo, we're number one, we're killing it, but we're not, like, helping us. Like, we're so capitalist. It's not like, I'm just trying to live, take care of my kids, family. Not that I have kids, future kids, of course.
I'm like, where?
Didn't I say this in the last episode? I have swimmers on deck. Yeah, I love when we take it from, like, a serious topic down to just playing. I'm like, it's getting too serious.
Well, they can keep on swimming around in a circle.
That's what I was saying in the past episode. I think last week. Yeah,
they can just chill out there. They need to, keep doing laps so that by the time I need them, they're nice and strong. There you go.
I mean, it really just comes down to luck. Just like you were the lucky one to make it to the egg.
So lucky. So lucky.
What? Do we have to go back to this conversation? You're in the situation, aren't you? You're getting married to the greatest person ever.
I know you are.
Oh, man. Words to my ears.
Getting married to the greatest person ever.
Swerve. Gosh.
Yeah.
Swerve that right over.
You know it.
Now we're good.
Excuse me?
Why are you touching me?
You know it.
Why are you keep your wet hand to yourself.
My what?
Your Casper hand to yourself.
Boo. See, but he can say that, and I have to laugh about it. But if I said something derogatory, that's a problem.
You better watch your mouth.
I'm just saying.
Better watch that mouth.
Rude. Don't call me Casper. I'm not that white.
Cool Whip.
Ew, I never liked Cool Whip. When I ate mayonnaise, that was the fake mayonnaise. That was the gross mayonnaise.
Wait, what?
I never liked Cool Whip. Wait, not Cool Whip.
I was gonna say, what? The fake mayonnaise? You putting Cool Whip on your sandwiches?
Hold on, what am I thinking of? No, it's like the Kraft
I never understood
mayonnaise.
Fluff.
Oh my god.
What is Fluff? While we're on this topic.
Fluff is like a melted marshmallow.
That sounds nasty. Why would white people?
It's really good with peanut butter, and it tastes like when you have it in a peanut butter and Fluff sandwich. It tastes like Reese's Pieces.
While we're on this race stuff, when I went to school, I saw these white kids having this white stuff called Fluff. I'm like, what? Why would you want this? What? Does not sound appetizing. Speak for your people.
I need to know what this mayonnaise is that I don't like.
Fake mayonnaise.
It's gross. And, like, people love it.
What were you eating? Like, was it some, like, cheap, like, yo, here you go.
No, it's one people love. So I'm a Hellmann's person with mayonnaise.
Does it matter?
Is it Kraft? It's a Kraft one, isn't it?
Does it matter?
Kraft mayonnaise. Let me look up Kraft.
You were literally taking your time to look up mayonnaise.
Guys, you want to know this information, don't you?
You were literally looking up mayonnaise.
This is very valuable.
Who cares about a freaking mayonnaise?
Okay, I think it's Kraft. I don't remember this packaging, but they could have redone it.
Nobody cares.
There was a mayonnaise that just stunk, and for some reason it reminded me of Cool Whip, and what you were saying. I don't know, but yeah. Cool Whip isn't fluff, babe.
I know that.
Okay, we are thinking of all the white stuff, and like we're just confusing them all.
No, you're confusing them all. I'm saying speak for your people when it comes to fluff.
But you said Cool Whip, and then why did you even mention fluff?
Because it reminds me of Cool Whip. Oh, you look like a marshmallow.
Are you saying I'm round and fluffy?
No. You're pretty flat.
Am I?
You are what you want to believe you are. Does that work better for you?
I think I have nice curves.
Just like marshmallow has nice.
No, a marshmallow is like this. A marshmallow is like round and straight, and it's like fluffy.
Oh God.
Unless it's a peep. And peeps are fake marshmallows. Peeps are terrible.
Oh, shoot.
Whoever likes peeps, I used to. But if you're an adult and you like peeps, no.
God, why you gotta shame the community for?
Like those, I don't even know.
As you die here, I'm gonna move into the next topic.
All right.
We're gonna clear this. Like,
go ahead, chocolate bar.
We're gonna get all this like race and anxiety and all this like, I don't know, heavy episode stuff off the table. Clear it off.
All right, hot fudge.
You like chocolate, so be quiet. So I wanna.
It's true.
We're gonna get into, as always, a relationship advice topic to close this episode out. So this one is: how do you know you want to marry someone or be with them for the long haul?
You don't.
So here we go. So,
it's like wanting kids. You're never like 100% ready.
Yeah, well, here we go. So this girl goes and she says, is there any way to know for sure? What sort of green flags in your relationship?
Green flags?
I don't know. Should you be looking out for? How does one know for sure if this is the person they want to spend their entire life with? I feel like I'm the sort of person who will never know for sure. My commitment issues are too much, and they stem from past abuse, for which I will get therapy as soon as I have access to it.
Okay. Is that it?
No,
Oh.
You just said okay. But they create too much doubt about everything. I'm assuming her past relationships create too much doubt about everything.
Mm-hmm.
She says her boyfriend, he is 23 and she is 23 as well. They have been together for a year. Oh, they will be together for a year very soon. And he is planning an entire future with me. Well, I'm not even sure about whether I still want to be with him or not, despite him loving him immensely.
I totally in that moment I thought she was gonna be like, well, I don't even know what I want for lunch tomorrow.
Let alone if I know if I want to marry this person. Go ahead, hit him with your thoughts.
I don't know. I guess I always thought that too. Is like, how do you really know? Because, you know, and I probably sound like a Debbie Downer, but it's like I've talked to so many brides that like the whole like when you know, you know. And, like, I'm like, that's such a BS, like, answer. I don't know. Like, I get it, but I don't. Because it's, like, it's so all-encompassing. As if, like, as if you have to have this profound epiphany moment. And then that's how you know. Versus, like, maybe you're just with someone and, like, you build up to it. You know? Like, I feel like it would put doubt in my mind. Because... you know, I never had that, like, you know, whenever I'm in a relationship, sure, I'm always like, I want to marry this person and blah, blah, blah. I want to be with them forever, all that, you know, like a lot of us do. But I never had, like, that moment where I'm like, this is it, period. This is all I need, and nothing's ever going to get any better, and this is just, like, this is the entire thing, and, like, I will die if I am not marrying this person. Like, you know, I've never, like, I don't know. I've never had that where it's, like, the whole you know moment or whatever. I've had the I want to moment, and that I could see this happening moment, and the, you know, like, let's do it moment, but not... I don't know. So I guess I'm not the one to ask because I don't know. It's like if you if you work well together, you enjoy each other's company, you think the other person would be a good parent if you want to have kids with the person. Like things like that I feel like are probably important and have same values. Like, you know, if you're a very religious person and you want to be with a very religious person, you know, same there. Like things like that. I mean, kind of like traits and stuff. If they add up into a person that, you know, we're never going to have perfection, but if they add up into a person that's like, okay, this is like a well-rounded person that I could be with and that I enjoy being with, then I feel like, you know, if you enjoy marriage and the thought of it and you want to do it, then there you go.
Okay. I can vibe with that. So mine is a lot more on the like the logical side, of course, because I'm always thinking. I'm gonna speak on it from like our perspective, like mine being in this relationship, and for me, it's not necessarily that I knew. It's more so, okay, out of all the check boxes I have of what I want in a person, how many do you check off? How many can I live with? How many can we work together on? And then go from there. And like I've always said, like when we get into fights and stuff, like throughout the years, I'm like, there's a lot more good than bad, like being with you. So it's like, okay, that's a plus. And it's just working towards like getting through those bad areas where we may have like our faults or issues and all that stuff. I say, in my eyes, someone that when you know you want to marry someone, first don't rush into it, because I'm not the one to rush into it. It's more so of like waiting. You're coming up on a year. Give it like another, year or 2 or 3. Like, don't be rushed into it because of social media or your friends or whatever. Just take your time. Like, you're on your own pace. And it's just like, make sure this person checks out for you. Make sure there's someone you can talk to. Like, we started this early in the episodes. We stopped saying this, which was the 3 C's. Help me remember this.
Consent. Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
Communication.
And compromise?
Compromise, there we go.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that.
We started this like, in the early episodes, and we didn't really talk about this too much as we're doing these relationship advice that we do with every Tuesday episode. But, I mean, it really comes down to those 3 things. Like, we had a fight recently, a few days ago, I believe, and, like, we sat down, had a real talk, like...
Dude, that was yesterday.
I don't remember. Things are freaking crazy.
Oh, yeah, no,
But
it's very interesting because even if you look at that, how we do the whole, the 3 C's is like, even with consent, it's like as easy as like, okay, you and I talk about how with the AC running, we're hot and cold at different times. Mm-hmm. So it's the whole like, oh, you cool if I turn this on or turn this off at this point? And then it's like, if the other person wants it on, that's where like the compromise comes, where it's like, okay, well, let's put the degrees up instead of like this cold. And that's therefore communicating. And it's like, it's not easy by any means.
Well, it's not. But we still struggle with it on the daily. But it's just something to remember. If you can do those 3 things with someone, I think that's someone that's worth marrying. If you can't do that with the person that you were with, I would just opt out now. Because if it's hard to have that, like, honest communication, them consenting and agreeing and you compromising on something that works for both of you, that's reasonable.
But I'm also not the person to say opt out when things get hard because... First of all, everybody who's married will tell you, even if they have an amazing marriage now, they will tell you it's hard and that there are going to be bad days. There are going to be days you don't like each other. There's going to be days where it takes longer to compromise on something or just, all that stuff. So for us, I know you said before how... You always saw it as like there was more good than bad. There was definitely a time where I saw it as more bad than good. And so I feel like that was hard for us because we were seeing this relationship in 2 different lights. And I was in a bad place. And it's one of those things where I was like venting to people. And there's like... certain people I wish I didn't tell certain things because now it can be awkward and like because now we're like getting married and all good and stuff, and I made it seem like we were like ending, and it was like people that I'm close with, but not like sisters or best friends, like, so it was kind of like I kind of wish I didn't let out all that information.
You shouldn't have done that, because the only person I said anything to was like my one close friend, and that
right
was it.
And
I'm not
see,
saying
like,
to anyone else,
and see, I know my best friend, whatever, like wouldn't judge or whatever,
exactly.
but I know that I don't know. So there was that. So it's very interesting because we went through a time where I thought we were basically ending and it was a bad time. And then, so yeah, my point is if things are hard or go wrong, I don't think people should give up so easily, because you need to see how are you able to work through this? Like, is this something where you're having a tough time, but you can actually come to a middle ground, but it's not easy.
But there's a difference. There's a difference between you seeing your partner like has the communication and consent and compromise in them, and you can see it. You just have to sit down and work on it and all that stuff. Versus someone just absolutely like nah.
Well,
like,
yeah, there are
happening.
toxic people.
So
I'm not saying to stay with a toxic person.
You have to like understand who you're with as far as like one of those sides goes. Because if they have no ounce of like communicating or consenting or any of that with you, what's the point? That's when I'm like, yeah, opt out. But if you see it in them, like for us, like I saw where we can communicate and all that stuff and work together. So it's like it wasn't me. I was gonna check out because I see like, okay, we just have to make it through this tough part,
right.
And it's all good.
And the other thing is, I definitely, to go with that, I suggest living together before getting married. This was something that someone had talked to me about when I was like a teenager. He had been married before and it didn't work out, and then he ended up living with other people, and that was a better way of figuring it out before marriage again. And it makes a lot of sense. I know that this isn't always conducive to certain cultures or backgrounds or things like that, but if you're able, it is an all-around, I think, more stable way to do it. It's a little riskier when it comes to finances and things like that. Like, we went all in and got a mortgage. If you're questioning being with this person, should get rent instead. But in my mind, it's better if you live with this person for a year and then you find out we're really just not working together. Like, because the thing is, when you live with the person, you know everything. They're not kidding when they say that, because it's like you're going to see all their quirks and qualms. You're going to smell them all the time, and you're going to like see them at their worst, and they're going to be bitching about work at you. Like, you're their funnel. Like, you're the person that they vent to, but then you're also the person that you're excited to about like a promotion. Like, it's everything. It's all encompassing. Like, you're there for like highs and lows and for daily monotonous things. So you see how this person functions, how they live, because not for nothing, if you have like a person who is super messy, throws everything on the floor, never does laundry, never, whatever, and you have someone who is like a neat freak, that's going to be really hard. There's different things. So I'd rather live with the person for a year and find out it's not going to work rather than marry them. And now, yes, divorce is technically more expensive, more time consuming, and more difficult.
Yeah.
So
I'm with it.
Yeah, I definitely suggest that.
I'm with it. Yeah, that's all I got on that topic. I just thought it was an interesting one to share. I'm sure a lot of people that are listening are probably in this situation, or someone that's in this situation. That's just 2 cents. Yeah. We got to start pushing that more. 3 C's. We got to start.
I totally forgot about it.
I remembered it like the other day, and I'm like, oh yeah, we stopped saying this. We gotta freaking share this again.
Make like a graphic and put it on Instagram.
Sure. Yeah, probably should do that. I think that's all I got. That's pretty much all I got. I just want to say, as just before we roll out here, again, I can't say this enough. Thank you to everyone for the support. I would love to get more like voice messages through Anchor, or your listener emails through the email in the description of this episode, It's PagingTheSimpsons@gmail.com. Definitely shoot us an email. Send us a voice message, whichever you feel comfortable with. We don't even have to say your name if you don't want us to. I'm just more curious and interested to take people's questions and listen to the podcast and that support us. We definitely had some great questions here, and it made you think for a second, like, man, do you want to be considered an interracial couple versus an intercultural couple? It's really interesting. I would love to hear more of this from the people that do listen, and give you a shout out for listening. Yeah. With that being said, guys, I am Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I am joined by my lovely fiance,
Lauren.
and we will see you guys this Friday.
Bye.
Peace out.